Hello everybody, this is Professor Tychek. I'm an economics professor and just want to show you a continuation of all my gardening videos. In all my gardening videos I focus on the economics behind gardening, indoor gardening and outside gardening. And what I want to show you here with tomato plants is how to have an efficient tomato plant that produces a lot of strong fruits or tomatoes. So what you got here, I want to plant this whole thing in the ground. And I want to go even up here as far as I can go, even halfway up to the plant, because if you can see these little, what I call spikes, are really little roots on the side of the plants, those can become long roots. So the further down I go with this plant, the more the roots will develop, the more roots will develop, and it'll make a stronger plant that can get more water, more nutrients, all that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to show you here is, in order to do that, I'm going to pop these guys off one after another, because they're just going to obstruct me from putting this in the ground. So, because I'm going to have a goal of putting it this far into the ground. So start with those little small ones. Now some people will take a clipper, some sort, but you know, they're small enough. You can just pop them off. The plant is large enough. Now if you were doing a small plant, you could probably break the plant by accident. So one more thing I want to show you here is these are called suckers, where they kind of develop at the elbow of the branch. They're very useless. They don't produce a lot, so easily just pluck these off. Even when you have this in the ground and maybe after a month, those little suckers are going to develop on other parts of the plant. They're useless. Always want to pop them off, because when something is useless, it still takes nutrients to grow. And if it's not going to produce any fruit, then you don't really need it on the plant. It's just taking nutrients and water and all that waste. So I'm just going to continue popping these guys off here. Okay. Now I might need to start using the scissors here, but just show you. So again, I just took this whole thing off. So don't be afraid to take a big, set of leaves off of your plant, if it makes sense. And all that. So this one here, just took another one, another big, huge leaf. Now some might say, well, that one could have produced fruit. Now this one could have had tomatoes eventually, but I am of the belief that a stronger plant means it will produce stronger fruit. So again, I am, when we talk in economics about opportunity cost, is it, should I have kept this on here to produce a few tomatoes down here? Or should I have just removed it so I have a much stronger plant by burying it even further than say down here? And I'm of the philosophy that I want to go higher. I'm even going to take this guy off. Okay. A little tougher to take off. I probably should have used the scissors, but there we go. So now I can go all the way up to here. And that's it for this video. So this is Professor Tychek again. And in this video I'm going to talk briefly about one of my favorite tools when it comes to planting in the garden. This is called a post hole digger. It's used for fencing, okay, to put in posts for fences. What I like about it is you go into the ground and it performs really well with making unique circles, or uniform circles in the ground. Like if you were to use a tool like this, a trowel, you'd get different shapes depending on how the ground was formed. Sometimes it collapses when you stick the trowel in the ground and you dig, and you get loose stuff like this all over. But with this post hole digger, you get a nice uniform circle, and my philosophy is that's good for root development, because when I put this purple Cherokee tomato plant in that I just showed you in a different video, it's going to have a lot of good space to move around. The soil around it will have been freshly dug up, like you can see here, so those roots won't have to go through something super thick like this stuff. So again, post hole diggers, one of my favorite tools for planting in the garden. So this is Professor Tychek once again, third and final video where I talk about my purple Cherokee tomato plant that I grew indoors. Now, as you've seen in a previous video, I used the post hole digger to make a nice uniform hole here. And in the video even before that one, I talked about how I removed some of the leaves structures on this plant because you can see all along here all these fuzzy little spikes are actually parts of the plant that want to become long roots. So I dug this very deep because I'm going to go all the way down like this, exactly like I showed you in one of my previous videos. So as you can see why I cut these. Yep. So, perfect. Without even trying, it popped on out. So this is what you call root bound. What I mean by that is because it was in the container for so long, it formed all over the place and like root bound, you know, like little spider webs all over. What you're going to want to do, because the roots are all compact together, is just move gently and just unentangle some of those roots. Allow them some free space to roam, and you can see here they're hanging out a little bit. That's good. That's a good thing. So all I'm going to do now, this is the simplest part. You probably don't even need a video to do this, but just massaging it a little bit, getting those roots to be a little freer. Don't be afraid to rip your plant apart a little bit. Plants are resilient. They can pretty much grow anywhere. Ask any weed and they'll grow. So now I'm just going to put it all the way in, and once that's done, I'm just going to start moving this dirt all around it. Real simple. Okay. And then before long, we'll have a tomato plant ready to go, just like some of these over here, and then we'll be done.